Have you noticed that when you go to the... I'll take my glasses off and start again. Have you noticed that when you go and take these bottles to be recycled, there's like a big object, big metal thing that you throw them in, and it's always full, and it's always got bags and bags of these bottles deposited around it in a sort of fly tipping fashion. But if you look closely, you'll see that it mostly consists of fresh, or rather stale, air. Whew. So why don't we have a look at some of these bottles? You see, look how much space that takes up. Oh, and what about this lot here? That one falls on the floor. And then we've got these here. They can, I'm just disappearing in a state of stig of the dump multi-fuckness. Oh, and there's a few more behind. But it's then, of course, the truck has to come along, doesn't it? And lift this big metal container up that's full of basically fresh or stale air. And then it drives through town, adding to the congestion, the pollution, destroying a few holes in the ozone layer and emitting tons and tons of CO2. And then they take them somewhere and they get loaded on a ship which sails powered by the most disgusting fuel in the world, which is of course marine diesel. And they sail to the Gambia with it, where it gets chucked in a river, destroying the habitat. We don't import anything from there, so the ship comes back empty and deposits a load of invasive species in the bilge water into the harbour, and it destroys the natural environment. Fantastic! If only there was some way in which we could take all this stuff and make it a lot smaller. Now, I could just zoom out, couldn't I, and then it would look smaller. But no, we've got a much better idea. Why don't we crush it using this handy device, or a boot? But whichever one we choose, it's going to make it a lot more environmentally sensible for us to recycle this plastic. Now I've got nowhere to do it on. Aha! So, we take this bag here and put it here. Aha! And what about this bag here? And put that here also. And then you see we've got the device, and we have the first bottle. This is sparkling water. It helps you to burp a lot. We take the top off and we put it in here. And instead of being this size, it's now this size. Ah. And I'll put that there. So what we now need is another bag. Ah. And they're over here somewhere. Do excuse me. We put these almost transparent bags out for the nice people from St Nicholas Fields who collect our Diet Coke bottles and carbonated mineral water, because they can see what's in them, can't they? Because it's see-through. Ah, and don't forget to put the top back on so that it doesn't just decide to grow again of its own accord, like so. And then we just do it again. Here are some tops I prepared earlier. And it just goes in there, like that. Give it a bit of extra welly if necessary. And then... oh, here's another one. I've got a sack full here, watch this. Like this is the what we call the op shot over here. The op shot is for the shot of the opposite number. You know, when you watch a film and it's got, you know, Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman having an intimate conversation, and you see her face, and then you see his face, and he says something, and then you see her face, and she says something, or just looks. Doesn't really happen because they only use one camera. So he says his lines, and then they cut, and then she says all her lines. They're not even having a conversation at all. That's what makes them truly great actors. Ah.